Adventure 9. The Beginning. As Tom and I sat in the cafe with our coffees, I sat back and took in the hubbub around me with great satisfaction. People helped themselves to pastries from the new open display. The selling floor was packed with customers creeping, books in hand, continuously around our new circular format, picking up more books as they went. Others came in the door and were handed a stack of books from a salesperson, most of which I felt confident enough by now, having observed the process many times, that they would purchase. I watched others, who would normally have left empty-handed or with just a book or two. Instead, they were eagerly leaving with a stack of books they had not yet paid for, 90% of which, in 7 days, would automatically turn into sales as we processed their card. Without saying anything, I passed Tom my phone to show him the text I'd received from my landlord earlier that day. Thanks so much for paying off the balance of your rent. Appreciate your including interest and prepaying next month's rent as well. I notice your store is packed most of the time these days, and I keep hearing good things about everything that's going on. Whatever you've been doing lately, keep it up. Then I asked Tom the question that had been bothering me for some time. Tom, since I own a bookstore, I've had a chance to read dozens of books on creativity and problem solving. Yet, until you came along with your boxes, nothing ever really worked for me. Why do you think that is? 2 reasons, Tom replied. The first is application. I made sure that you applied what you learned as soon as you learned it, by asking you questions and making you come up with ideas. Applying what you learn, he continued, not only puts what you learn to work immediately, always a good thing, it also keeps you from forgetting it by securing it to a web of actual applications. So, always apply what you want to retain immediately in any way you possibly can. The second reason these techniques worked for you was motivation. You were about to lose your bookstore, and you were very motivated to prevent that from happening. That's tremendously energizing. It keeps you from procrastinating. It forces you to apply what you know, and it helps you make better decisions because there are very unpleasant consequences to a bad decision. Makes sense, I concurred, recalling the incredibly difficult conversation I'd had to have with my daughter the night I met Tom. Because of the work Tom and I had done together, I'd had the pleasure of having a very different conversation with her recently that had filled me with joy. That's why when I'm stuck on a problem, I often pretend my life depends on solving it successfully. I ask myself, what would I do if my life depended on solving this problem? And lo and behold, I find myself suddenly becoming much more resourceful and much more innovative. Hopefully, I said, from now on my dire straits will just be pretend. And now that I have all those boxes to look in for answers, I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they will be too, agreed Tom, reaching over and helping himself to a pastry. Our newest employee approached with a worried look on her face. Sir, she began, a customer wants a book by the end of the week, and it's just impossible. Hold on, I interrupted, holding my hand out while casting Tom a wink and a smile. You just started with us, so you probably don't know, but that word is forbidden here. Now, let's talk about what is possible and see if we can't help this customer. Tom just smiled as he bit into his pastry.